Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Haley is off tonight. Our top story, Hurricane Irma wiping out the Caribbean. More images of the destruction caused by this monster storm. Take a look. Aerials over the island of St. Martin were just released by the Dutch Ministry of Defense, and the images are powerful. Hotels destroyed, debris scattered all over the island, vegetation gone. The ports hit especially hard with boats pulled from the docks. The new track on Irma now is just out from the National Hurricane Center. So let's get right now to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan, who has that latest track.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been hearing about it on social media since around 2 o'clock this afternoon. The new European model has come out, and it is now suggesting a little bit more toward the west, and that's not good news for us here along the west coast of Florida. And as we heard from the governor, the entire state has to keep an eye on this for the potential for hurricane force winds now due to that little slight adjustment. It's not definite and it's not set in stone at this point, but it's making it a little bit more ominous for the west coast at this point. North of Puerto Rico, here we'll move it in time and show you that it's still a very strong Category 5 hurricane, which has lost really not much at all. Top winds remain at 75. It's getting beat up by the mountains here a little bit on the west and western edge and southern portion of the storm itself. It's not as symmetrical as it once was, but it's heading right into the Turks and Caicos with a 20-foot storm surge, life-threatening storm surge through the southeast Bahamas as well. Here's the latest from the National Hurricane Center, and it's 175-mile-an-hour winds, gusts up to nearly 200. The movement is to the west-northwest at 16. The pressure has come up a little bit over the past 24 hours. That's somewhat of a good sign, but still, this is going to go over some very warm water here. Water temperatures 90 degrees, and these islands here in the Bahamas, the southeast Bahamas and the central Bahamas, obviously are not going to do much to bring this Category 5 down. So the hurricane forecast thinking as it continues off toward the west-northwest, a little bit weaker on Friday afternoon, but then it still could interact with Cuba. If it interacts with Cuba, then we could see a little loss of strength there. But notice that the track has now shifted to the west. It had been just off to the east coast here of Fort Pierce, but now it's shifting back toward our coast. They're not making a full-scale change with the European yet. If the GFS were to follow that, then we're going to see a little bit more shift to the left. That's why they have this cone of uncertainty, because the models are not in total agreement with what's going to go on with the high pressure to the north of it. As it drives it to the west, that high pressure is going to weaken here, which will give it a little bit of a weakness to go through and head off to the north. There's also an area of low pressure located over the lower Mississippi Valley, which is also going to drive this storm. The area for error is still quite large, so don't think that it's coming right here, right now, but there has been a significant change that we're starting to see the European more toward the west. You can see the bulk of the forecast models are still on the east coast, but a few have shifted off to the left. Right over west central Florida. I want to show you the European forecast model. This came out at 2 o'clock this afternoon. This is the reason why we're hearing a lot about the shift and the potential for a little bit more destruction here along the west coast of Florida. This is Sunday at 10. Now, Sunday at 10 is when the center could be right over the top of central Florida, and so that could be the toughest time for our weather. However, I want to caution people, out ahead of the storm, we'll still get those bands of rain, which could begin earlier on Sunday morning. Well, much more on these models and what it means for us coming up in just a few minutes. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. As you saw Bob say, Hurricane Irma still a powerful Category 5 storm as it hits the Turks and Caicos and heads that way. It's already claimed at least 13 lives in the Caribbean, and the massive storm is expected to reach South Florida this weekend. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is in New Smyrna Beach with a look at Irma's impact and the preparations that are now underway.
Hurricane Irma tearing through the Caribbean. The deadly Category 5 storm's 175-mile-per-hour winds leaving utter devastation. From St. Martin to Puerto Rico, where 1 million people are now without power, to Barbuda. Officials there reporting 95% of structures on the tiny island are damaged.
The entire country has been decimated. I have never seen anything like this before.
Now Florida bracing for what Governor Rick Scott warns could be more disastrous than the worst hurricane to ever hit the state.
The storm is bigger, faster, and stronger than Hurricane Andrew.
Mandatory evacuations are in place in low-lying and coastal parts of South Florida. Everyone in the Keys ordered out.
If you stay and you're being irresponsible, don't expect us to risk the lives of our first responders because of your irresponsibility.
From the Gulf to the Atlantic coast, Floridians heeding the warnings. Traffic stretching for miles. Lines for gas in some places hours long with stations running out.
I'm very nervous. I've been driving around for 30 minutes and my car was on E for like the past hour.
More lines for plywood and water. Many store shelves left empty in the rush to get ready ahead of this monstrous storm.
And a part of that, people are busy boarding up their homes. Others plan to do so tomorrow when many schools and some businesses will be closed to give families time to prepare and evacuate. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New Smyrna Beach, Florida.
Evacuation orders are multiplying across Florida as local officials trying to get the most vulnerable populations out of harm's way. Miami-Dade County now has made evacuations mandatory for all of its coastal areas, barrier islands, and mobile homes. Monroe County's mandatory order stands for the entire Florida Keys. Broward County's order remains voluntary for mobile homes and low-lying areas, and Collier County to our south issued a voluntary evacuation order for Marco Island. Now, Sarasota County and the city of Sarasota have officially declared a state of emergency ahead of the hurricane. Emergency managers are busy making preparations in anticipation of the storm. They will make a voluntary evacuation announcement tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. That's the plan right now. They'll ask people living in Zone A, the barrier islands, and other areas known for flooding to evacuate. No shelters are open yet, but if they do make the announcement, select shelters will open at around noon tomorrow, and people will have to bring in their own sleeping bags, mattresses, and other supplies they'll need for several days. Now, Manatee County is issuing a voluntary evacuation for low-lying areas and mobile home residents, including Holmes Beach. It begins tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. People living in mobile homes or the county's evacuation level A, red-colored areas on the map near the coast, rivers, streams, and low-lying areas are welcome to leave. Manatee County declared a state of emergency yesterday. Now, tomorrow, 4 emergency shelters will open in Manatee County at 4 p.m. Here are the locations: the Myakka Elementary School in Myakka City, Braden River High School, Manatee High, Mills Elementary in Palmetto, and Nolan Middle School in Lakewood Ranch. Now, Braden River, Manatee High, Mills, and Nolan are all pet friendly. Nolan is also open for those with special needs. First responders and hospitals on the Suncoast are putting their hurricane action plans into place. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from Sarasota Memorial Hospital with more on how they're gearing up there. Jess?
Good evening, Scott. First and foremost, emergency management officials say if you're asked to evacuate, to do so, because even though places like Sarasota Memorial Hospital here and first responders are putting plans in place to respond during a hurricane, sometimes conditions just won't allow them to do so. If Hurricane Irma brings high winds to Sarasota County, it could prevent firefighters and EMS from being able to respond to emergencies.
If we find that we are in sustained winds of 45 miles an hour for that period of time that it is, we will not respond out of the fire stations just for safety of our first responders and the high trucks.
When winds calm down, they'll be able to respond. 911 centers already flooded with calls prior to Irma's arrival.
When people's anxiety levels go up, they dial 911 for answers.
Sheriff Tom Knight reminds residents that 911 is only for emergencies.
In Sarasota County, the 861-5000 number has been established. That is an informational number to use. I would recommend people use that. If it does get backed up, be patient and wait for it to come into queue, because they're going to give you more answers than a 911 operator can give.
And area hospitals like Sarasota Memorial are still debating whether or not to go into lockdown, which would mean keeping a team of doctors and nurses at the hospital, and visitors would be encouraged to stay at home.
We're still taking people in, we're discouraging people from leaving, and if they could not visit, it makes it safer for the patient, it creates capacity.
And if the power goes out, these 5 generators will keep the hospital running.
We have 80,000 gallons of diesel fuel ready to go, so we're completely capped off, and we can survive independently right now for 10 to 14 days on the power that we have.
SMH is also taking in residents from surrounding nursing homes until they reach their 700 patient capacity. An evacuation here at SMH is very unlikely, as the buildings here were built to sustain up to Category 3 hurricane conditions. Reporting live in Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you. If you want to evacuate but maybe don't have a way to get out of town safely, well, the state can try to help. The state has set up a transportation hotline. The number to call is 1-800-955-5504. If If you call this number, the state will try to get you out of the area if you need it. Again, the number is toll-free, 1-800-955-5504. Now to First Alert Traffic, taking a look at how our roads are looking right now with so many people choosing to evacuate. And just like last night, I-75 northbound is congested at this hour. We're seeing some backups from Clark Road in Sarasota north of there to State Road 70. And we have reports of a crash on I-75 northbound at the on-ramp from Fruitvale Road, again adding to the delays along I-75. With so many people trying to evacuate the state, the availability of gasoline is becoming a very major concern. People are seeing long lines at the pump and higher prices, even some stations that are out of fuel. In order to get more gas, all Florida ports are open and available to accept fuel shipments right now. Governor Rick Scott has waived restrictions and regulations to expedite those shipments. The same restrictions have been waived in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Alabama.
Top priorities right now is fuel availability. We know there are problems with supply at gas stations and are working around the clock to get fuel to you.
If you know where you're going to a shelter, you're asked to only buy the fuel you need to get there and back. This way, everyone who is leaving the area is able to do so quickly and safely, and there will be gas for them to buy. Floridians are complaining at a record-setting rate about price gouging on gas prices and other essential items needed for storm preparation. The state's hotline has received thousands of phone calls in the last 2 days about inflated prices for food, water, and ice. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the hotline has never seen this much action. The majority of the calls have come from Broward, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach counties. If you have evidence of price gouging, you're asked to call the state's hotline at 1-866-9-NO-SCAM. School districts on the Suncoast making storm preparations as well. Schools in both Sarasota and Manatee counties closed tomorrow, Friday, September 8th. Charlotte County schools are closed as well. And many college campuses are also closed. Ringling College of Art and Design has canceled classes until further notice. New College of Florida canceling classes today, Friday, and Monday. University of South Florida campuses, including Sarasota Manatee, will be closed today through Sunday. And the State College of Florida also closing today through Monday. Now, ABC 7 will have continuous coverage of Hurricane Irma's track over the next couple of days as it gets closer and closer to Florida. We also want to make sure you and your family are prepared for the storm. That's why we'll be showing an encore presentation of our hour-long special called Surviving a Hurricane right here on ABC 7. The program offers information about supply kits, shelters, evacuation routes, much more to get you ready for the storm. It will air again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. You can also catch the special anytime on our other platforms, including Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Still to come in your Suncoast News, an active death investigation in Sarasota County, what detectives found off of Lockwood Ridge Road. And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back. He'll have the First Alert weather forecast, the latest track on Irma. And for those taking flight soon, there are 3 ways that you can beat some jet lag. That story coming up in Health Smart.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our autumn upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our autumn upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies are investigating after a man's body is found in North Sarasota. They're calling this a death investigation right now. The body was found near Blanche Place, which is east of Lockwood Ridge Road and south of University. No word yet on a cause of death, identity, or age of the victim. Neighbors say forensic crews were on the scene looking for clues into the man's death. A car accident in Venice caused a power transformer box to catch fire. That incident happened at the Merrill Lynch office building on Venetia Road this afternoon. We're told a car may have driven into the power box, causing that problem. Witnesses there reported hearing popping sounds like fireworks. Power was lost to nearby buildings, causing someone to get stuck and need rescuing from an elevator. But no injuries were reported. Florida Power and Light was on the scene there to get the power restored. Well, Hurricane Irma is also affecting football schedules at every level throughout the state. Even the NFL season opener between the Bucs and the Dolphins has been postponed until November. But here at home on the Suncoast, a handful of high school football games are being played tonight instead of on Friday night. ABC 7's Adam Cellini joins us live from Riverview High School with a preview of tonight's game. Adam?
Yeah, Scott, I'm standing in an empty Ram Bowl for now, but thankfully these seats are expected to fill up tonight. Unfortunately, many other stadiums across the Suncoast will sit like this all night and all through the weekend. A lot of games canceled. We thought we'd have 9 games tonight, but about this time yesterday. When we woke up this morning, the number had dwindled down to 3. Bradenton Christian will be playing Zephyr Hills Christian. Booker will be hosting Sarasota High School, and of course Riverview will be playing Palmetto here at home tonight. Those are the 3 games that are still on the schedule. Now, this has become an all too familiar situation for high school football teams in this area. You may remember last year both Hurricane Hermine and Hurricane Matthew threw a wrench into the start of the season schedule. Several games canceled as a result, but what's different this year is that the Florida High School Athletic Association has new rules with regards to the playoffs. For decades, a team's playoff destiny relied solely on your record in district play, but now the FHSAA has added a point system that is based on the overall record and strength of schedule. We talked with Riverview head football coach Josh Smithers before the game about his school's decision to continue on tonight.
We wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to get a game in. We've yet to play 4 quarters of football, and Palmetto, had to play Manatee last week in 2 different, Friday night and then a Saturday morning. So I think we both felt that if we can move it up and get the game in, it would definitely benefit us.
Now, since the games have moved up a night, we are moving Football Friday night up a night. We'll see you guys later at 11 o'clock for highlights from these 3 games we're hoping will continue throughout the night. We'll also be talking a little bit more about that playoff system and have a head coach from here in the area come on to discuss it as well. You can check our website and social media accounts, our Twitter account at MySunCoast, and our Facebook page, ABC7 WWSB, for updates on those remaining games that are scheduled to play throughout the night. For now, live at Riverview High School, I'm Adam Cellini. Scott, back to you.
All right, Adam, we look forward to the big show tonight at 11:15, but for now we're still talking about the hurricane. And Bob, what do we make of this little shift now to the west?
Well, it's a big deal. Obviously, the Hurricane Center is very reluctant to make shifts big time. You know, if they go one way, they like to see that trend continue. But now they're coming back a little bit, which should suggest that they're starting to put more weight on a couple of different forecast models. The European, obviously one of the best performing models over the past decade now, has dropped a little bit further south. Not in 4 days from now or 3 days from now. They're dropping it south right now. And so what that means is they drop it south, that turn to the north is going to be delayed. Okay. And if it's delayed, that means Florida Peninsula gets right in the middle of that. And there's another good model that's doing that too. I want to reassure folks out there a couple of different things, that these things are manageable if you make the right preparations. Obviously, hurricanes are not EF4 tornadoes or EF5 tornadoes. Hurricanes come in and can do significant damage. Now, as I just talked with Scott about the storm maybe shifting west, well, if it were to make landfall in the southern portion of the peninsula, it would travel right across the spine of the state, and that would weaken it considerably. So we're not going to be dealing with a major Category 5 hurricane or a Category 4 hurricane. Fairly confident in saying that. Category 3, not out of the questions, more likely. And the worst case scenario would be a Category 2, which is a very strong hurricane that can cause all sorts of problems and headaches. So that's just a little bit. Storm surge. There's always been a lot of questions about storm surge. Right now, it's not a factor. Storm surge is always near the center and to the right of the center of movement. So if it's moving up the spine, the storm surge would be more of a factor on the East Coast, less of a factor on the West Coast. When the storm gets north of our latitude, certainly we get that onshore flow. And we'll get a storm surge here if it moves into the central portion of the state, but it won't be the 20-foot, the 10-foot, nothing like that. Again, the track shifts west. The stronger winds are possible now. Our chances of getting tropical storm force winds before this advisory came out were at 60 to 70%. So definitely watches and warnings will be placed for our coast, I think tonight at 11 o'clock advisory, and that will be fairly certain. Now, as far as the latest goes at 5 o'clock, the wind's at 175 miles an hour. The pressure has come up ever so slightly, and you can see there's a little bit of shearing going on, but not much. There's nothing to really inhibit that. It's not shear so much as it is the mountainous terrain of the Dominican Republic. It's kind of blocking the flow into the center at this point, but there's nothing to stop it as a Category 5 for the next 2 to 3 days as it makes its way to the northwest. This water area right here, extremely warm, upper 80s to low 90s. You would figure we're at the peak of hurricane season, which is officially September 10th. Well, here it is. The European models has shifted this down a little bit over the next 2 days, and that means that the delay in the northward turn will be a little bit later in coming. So this has been shifted from just offshore of West Palm Beach and near Miami, now back to the west just a little bit. It won't take much to increase our winds and possibly give us hurricane force winds here. We'll have to keep a watch and see if this is indeed going to be a trend for the next full run, which it comes out at 11 o'clock. The next full run, a new advisory, and the possibility of a new cone comes out at 11 o'clock tonight. I mentioned those water temperatures. Just look at all that right there through the central Bahamas. That's all about 90-degree temperatures, even into the near Key West and southwestern portions of the state there. You can see temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Now, if you look at this, these are some of the models, and a majority of them still pack it around along the east, but you'll notice there's been a little shift here, so that's why the Hurricane Center has now decided that's where the center line is. But I caution folks into just looking at that center line. That's not where all the weather is going to be. This is a big storm. In fact, the hurricane force winds are starting to expand near the center. On top of that, the tropical storm force winds extend over 150 miles out from the center on the right edge. Now, we'll be, in this case scenario, we'll be on the western edge. They won't be as far out, but still close enough to get us in terms of tropical storm force winds. That blue line, by the way, is the NOGAPS, which is the Navy forecast model, which is not nearly as reliable as the GFS or this one, the European, as you see it making its way toward Key West on Sunday and then moving right through the central portion of the state. This is 7:30 Sunday, and we would be seeing at this point, if it follows this path, hurricane force winds across parts of our immediate viewing area, especially near that center as it makes its way off to the north. Into Georgia, I might add, where a lot of people have evacuated to. It will still be a significant storm there, even if it stays over land. It will lose its intensity, though. Once it makes landfall, it will start to drop down by the time it reaches us. As I said, it could be a Category 2 or possibly 3 storm. We are not in any watches at this point. The hurricane watch is in effect from near Fort Myers southward through the Keys and along the east coast of Florida, and hurricane warnings over all the Bahamas at this point. And as far as that trough of low pressure goes, there's a little piece of energy right here that is going to direct the storm, but this is very difficult to predict. And so with that in mind, there's still a chance that it could adjust back east in time if, again, the European changes its mind. We'll get a look at this. Another major hurricane, the third one of the season. Jose out there and not going to have a huge impact on any land area. And Katia continues to head off toward the Mexican coast there. As far as we're concerned, we are going to see showers and storms scattered about our normal typical variety, which could bring us some heavier showers, which will saturate that ground. We'll get to the 7-day forecast and show you what's going to be happening. 50% chances through Saturday, and then the rough weather begins Sunday, and the toughest part will be Sunday late and into Monday morning, and then we'll start to clear out and get warm again on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Subject to change. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. In health news tonight, if you're evacuating and have managed to get a flight out of the area, you may experience some jet lag, even if you're just traveling for a trip sometime. There are 3 simple tips for avoiding that sleepy, hungover feeling. Bask in bright light. The light will act as an important environmental cue to reset your sleep cycle. Also, you can pop a melatonin, which is a supplement typically sold on pharmacy shelves to help you sleep, or go on a mini fast. A Harvard Medical School study finds that not eating at all while you're on your way to your destination could potentially help your body clock adjust to a new time zone. Coming up, one of the largest wildfires Los Angeles County has ever seen continues to burn. Now, officials there are beefing up efforts to put out the fires. And a look at Hurricane Irma from a different angle, the scene captured by the International Space Station. Stay with us.
I heard about the Dotole Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotole Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotole Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U for an independent you.
Call 1-800-671-4817. Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
We have another look at Hurricane Irma, this one coming in from the International Space Station. It's pretty spectacular. Cameras on board capturing the dramatic footage of the storm as it made landfall in the Caribbean yesterday. The ISS passing right over the eye of the storm. You also get a sense of how large this powerful storm really is. Elsewhere, California bringing in the big guns to fight the several wildfires still blazing through the state. This global supertanker is the largest in the world. It carries 19,000 pounds of retardant, which is enough for about a 1.5 mile long drop. The cost to fly this massive jet, a 747, is $16,000 an hour, something the state will consider when it comes to using the supertanker long term. Still to come in your Suncoast News, home preparations continue as people brace for Hurricane Irma. What is the hot items at stores and how people are getting their homes ready for the worst? Stay with us.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our autumn upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your Couch Coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our autumn upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.